and welcome back to the podcast number 16. And today I am with Poonam. She's joining us from Nagpur. And I hope मैंने सही नाम लिया है. Mumbai. So, okay, guys. So, this is podcast number 16. And I have Poonam Kalra with me from Mumbai. And she is been, I'm just sitting into it. तो मैं जब उनके इसके बाद देख रहा था ना लाइफ के ऊपर या मैं बोलूँ अगर इनके पीछे करियर के अंदर काफी डिफरेंट चीजें मिली एंड सब में जो एक कॉमन चीज थी ना थी वो थी क्रिएटिविटी सो मे बी उस क्रिएटिविटी को और बेटर तरीके तो आई गेस पूनम वुड बी द बेस्ट वन टू टेल यू अप सो हाउ आर यू
I'm doing very well, Kumar. How have you been? How is
ऑल गुड
everything?
यार एंड थैंक यू ऑल गुड एंड थैंक यू फॉर कमिंग एंड आई गेस हम लोग काफी टाइम से कनेक्टेड थे समहाउ नहीं हो पा रहा था एंड टुडे इट इज हैपनिंग नाउ
Well, it's a pleasure, Kumar. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast.
थैंक
Thank
यू
you for inviting me.
So I just want to know about your journey till now, from your college and your journey, and then we'll talk about the other stuff which we have already discussed. So over to you.
So, from college, like you wanted to know, and you did mention something about creativity. So, I'll tell you something. When I did my college, I did in electronics media, and I was very sure that I wanted to be a journalist, that I wanted to just go out there and, talk to people like you're talking to me. I was very sure. And this is why I joined electronics media in my college. And of course, for journalism, Delhi is the place. Like at least till the time when I graduated, Delhi was that, I have always wanted to create something, I didn't know exactly what or what not, but I was like, yes, I want to do something which has like a greater influence to the society at large. That's why in college also I did electronics media. And then I was very sure that I would do journalism. I went to Delhi and I joined NDTV. And that had been a journey for me. Bombay happened to me. I had no plans of coming to Bombay. It's just that, when I was in Delhi,
Okay.
we was going through a phase where they were not really hiring people that time. Rather, they were on the firing mode. I had a heartbreak, when I was told that, even as much as we want to, we can't do anything about it. Just like a normal person, who has like this huge dreams and all. And I just told my father over a call. And then the thing is, my friends were here in Bombay, and I just came for a vacation here.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, let me just get back to this thing. You know how heartbreaks are like? I felt exactly like that when I did not continue in NDTV. Then I was just when I became normal and all, and then I spoke with my father, and my father said that even if you want to go back to NDTV, it's fine. You can just go there. Like you can do your internship there. You don't need to earn and stuff like that. Now I come from a middle class family, and I was like, I don't want to take so much from my father. And then I was like, okay, let me go back to my hometown in Goa. And then Kuva, just like you and I were sitting, right? My friend and I were sitting, and she gets a phone call that, we are looking for someone, as an assistant editor. Do you know anyone? And we're just sitting like that. And she's like, just anything would do. I don't want to go back to it now. And then I just took up that job, and then I fell in love with my current field so much that even when I got a chance to do journalism again, when I got a call back from different channels, I was like, no, now the girl is settled here.
Mm-hmm.
Bombay happened to me, and this field happened to me. Then creativity has just been there, and I think this is it. This is it for me.
Okay, so this was a by chance, or maybe I would say there's a struggle to not to go back. That happened to you to
Yeah.
towards the Mumbai and the creativity.
Yeah, you rightly pointed out my urge to not go back to my hometown was so high that I was like, Abhi kuch bhi chalega, let me just be here. And I think that was maybe the part. Maybe sometimes you think that you want to do this, but other plans are better plans for you. That happened.
I truly agree. I truly agree. I guess everybody who move out of hometown don't want to go back to hometown. They want to move forward because they have.
Ha, exactly.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now when it's come to your professional things, when you come back to the from your NDTV to Mumbai. So first I want to understand your role in NDTV, and then you hired in the Bombay. What was your role in that?
Okay, so in NDTV now, who are like, I want to do journalism. So there used to be a course which NDTV used to offer. It was called NDTV Media Institute. Mine was a last batch, 2007. Because like I said, after that whole turmoil which NDTV was going through, they had to shut that also. Lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
So in that course, what happens is they train you for 4 months where you go through
Hmm.
the whole journey of how news function. In news, कि आपने लगाया and then suddenly what prime minister is saying. फिर
Correct.
क्या बोला वो, now I have to play it for my audience.
Okay.
Then there's a live PCR, where we must have seen all these debates happen, the prime time debates which goes live. This live PCR, everything is happening. You and I are discussing something about, let's say, prime minister. Suddenly
Hmm.
I have to cut to what prime minister's speech is saying. So all these crazy things about PCR is there. In my thing, I think I've been really fortunate, Kuvar, that I got a chance to work on a show called Truth versus Hype. That was by Srinivas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I think he's one of the finest journalists to work with. At least I got a chance to, work with him. The producer was Ambika. So my basics were set through in NDTV quite clearly. And in NDTV,
Nice. I agree.
pehle used to be like people used to discuss things. So
Hmm.
there used to be people in Prannoy Roy's, Dr. Roy's show where there would be no walk-offs. You know, people
Okay.
from different parties, people with a very different set of opinions used to sit together, discuss a certain topic,
Hmm.
which somewhere down the line is, I feel, lacking in journalism, which Dr. Roy only could, I feel, bring to the table so many different opinions. So I would say that I'm really fortunate that my basics, my schooling was corrected there. So, I never felt, oh, what I get stress knowledge because once you have taken the news stress, na, PCR wala, I mean, it's like CS is checking the gate.
So I guess that time which you are talking about, 2017, 18,
Correct.
it was the only NDTV was the only channel जो सबसे ज्यादा अभी जर्नलिज्म में अभी फेस बना हुआ था उस टाइम पे कि they were against the right list, they were not leftists, but they were against the right.
They were, I would not say against the right, they would call themselves liberal. I would
Hmm.
say that.
Liberals.
Yeah, they would call themselves liberals. Yeah.
So is there just from that experience, I just want to know, is there anything or was there, have you ever find out कि यार ये नहीं ये गलत न्यूज़ पोर्ट्रेट हो रही है जैसे नॉर्मल न्यूज़ रूम्स को कि वो गलत रिपोर्ट्स फाइल करते हैं या दिखाते हैं ऐसा कुछ होता था?
Yeah, see, I think वो अगर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वो अगर होता होगा तो वो उस लेवल पे होता होगा कि where we were not like directly a part of it.
हम्म।
See, I would not say कि sensationalism होगा हुआ तो वो एक ऐसे लेवल पे होता होगा जहां पर we were not directly included in it. अगर वो होता
ओके।
होगा तो and see, I feel that news
हम्म।
definitely sensationalism. So I think her news channel का एक है ना I would say बोल दो या आप so just you like Kuva, you also pointed out that you used to feel and you as a viewer would feel that they were against right? But
हम्म।
they used to call themselves liberals. And see, at the end of the day, it all comes down to a certain opinion, what works for a certain set of people, what ideologies work for a certain set of people, and what doesn't. There was a free will to have that opinion. It's not like if I'm working in a channel and maybe I am someone who supports a right thing because I also have my own set of political preferences, right? It's not that I was not invited to be a part of that channel because there has to be a balance. And my father had said a very good thing to me, which always remained with me, that for a healthy democracy, you have to have like a strong opposition.
True.
There would be a balance.
Correct. That's correct. So I guess so you mean to say that a little bit is there, but actually NDTV was actually working towards the showing the truth, right?
I would like to believe in at least
And
there.
if I talk about the journalism career as a as your point of view, how do you think journalism as a career, why people should take it or why youngsters should take it
Why people
and
should
who should
take it,
not take
why
it?
they should not take it. This is the question.
Who, yes.
Okay. Reason A, people should take journalism. For many people, it's a game of fame. If that's your perspective to journalism, then I would say please don't. That is like, big. But if you're someone who actually genuinely want to go out there on ground, tell stories, make an impact, because journalism's core as a career is what that you have to make some shift. You have to make some difference, through your stories or tell people or things like that. That is what was the core of journalism really. So if you want to do that, then you should definitely go for it. But if your idea is that, oh, I will come on TV, I will report, and I want to be an anchor and stuff, If it is a game of fame for you, then you might as well try something else. Because fame could be
Mm.
the byproduct of what you do, but that should not be the aim of why you should do journalism. Because it will ask
Okay.
hours, it will ask for genuine storytelling. Which of course now
Hmm.
right now is missing over because right now every influencer has become a news reporter.
I guess YouTube have changed the scenario of reporting because if someone is not able to get into news channel, they have opened their own news channel on YouTube.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's just opinion based. It is not factual based. It's like that. Like you
Yeah.
asked me a question
True.
like earlier, right? कि कहीं ऐसा होता था कि reports को इधर उधर करा जाता था, things like that. Now
Yes.
at larger level, even see when I was in the channel, I didn't even know अगर होता था नहीं होता था. So any person who is in this field, that person has a larger responsibility to tell the correct facts. Journalism आपको
True.
बहुत बड़ा responsibility होता है. Opinion, Instagram, Twitter is there like that.
Today is there.
And even what
True.
we are discussing is also an opinion in a way.
बिल्कुल. It's our opinion. So it's truly I understand कि यार वो so now on to the other section and I guess I have been listening to it or maybe I know a lot of people like you are there. One of my friends is an active member in India in Delhi NCR, which is Art of Living. So and you said this is the best part happened to you.
Yeah,
So why do you think it is the best thing happened to you first of all?
yeah. That's a question which is going to take a pause for me. I think spirituality, Kubar, it's like something that you experience more than what you can put
Hmm.
out in words. Many people, I feel, the strength that you get from spirituality, is
Hmm.
something that you really can't. I'll try to put it in words what you have asked me because you have just put me in a spot and why it is like the best thing that has happened to me. So I'll go a little back to my meditation journey. I was doing meditation.
Hmm.
I used to do Vipassana. I used to, like I was a meditation practitioner and all. It is like when you find the living master, someone who is an enlightened master, which is that it's a very different
Okay.
strange from spirituality. You become mentally very strong, which of course you need to face in the world. You understand what you need to react to and what you need to respond to.
Hmm.
So in a way, you start seeing reality as is. It's just not that you become very careless, or it doesn't bother me and all that. It's not worth it. It's not what is worth it, what is not worth it. Somewhere down the line, the whole vision towards things starts shifting. Because when you start with mera kya, I, it suddenly starts shifting towards society to make it a better one. Something shifts within you. Something really shifts within you. So yeah, it's the best
So
that because it's just all good.
okay. So when it's come to the meditation, I just want to know that when you said it's really inspiring, what do you find into it? Like some people go into spirituality for meditation, growth के लिए कोई जाता है, कोई personal growth के लिए जाता है. So what was your way of interest in this?
See, I'll tell you something. I was least interested in it. It's just that I was going through some health issue, and my sister suggested me that I should just go and maybe try meditation. Vipassana.
Okay.
Okay, why not? So I gave it a try. Then I was practicing it, whatever technique they had taught me.
Mm-hmm.
Now what happens now? It is something that people who are on spiritual path will understand that certain things pull you. You don't decide these things. I did not, and even many people who tell you the same thing over. It's not just
Okay.
who was talking like this. Many spiritual people will tell you this thing only. It pulled us. Our time had come. These are the common things because that is something that we have experienced. Then after
Mm-hmm.
that, I was someone who always loved, satsangs. I had always enjoyed, like since childhood. So I would just go randomly to any satsang and all, and I say, oh, satsang, chalo, chalo. Then more than parties, I was interested in satsangs. I said, okay, let me go. Then I started going to Corn, because there used to be bhajan, kirtan and all that. In a
Mm-hmm.
similar way, one satsang was taking place, which was near my house in Bombay, where Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar had come. My whole intention was to, just, oh, it's another satsang, let me go. And I think, they say, on spiritual thing that, it is not you who chooses your master, it's the master who chooses you. when you're done. So my time was that satsang. Then I started doing one after the other course. Sudarshan Kriya was first course that I did. And then, it has been like the best thing that has happened. Because, all my
Okay.
fears dropped away. I became a more assertive and confident person. I became more chirpy, happier. I was like more forgiving. And my whole thing completely shifted. Completely shifted. And it has been a very
So, when it's come to shifting means, can you just little bit explain how, what are the courses? You just said, you mentioned for the courses, and how it will going to help the people, and what are the thought process behind these courses or the motivations behind this?
lovely. I would love to do that. It's like I have. So see, the basic program, the basic program is called happiness program, or some people can say,
Okay.
breath and meditation workshop, or they can call it the Sudarshan Kriya. Sudarshan Kriya.
Mhm.
The whole core of that Sudarshan Kriya is so Komal, like there's a rhythm in the nature. Okay, we see seasons, summer, winter, they all take place accordingly. In the similar way, they say that the entire universe is within us, and we all have a certain rhythm to our breath also. So using our breath as a technique, they teach you a certain technique. We can, master our emotions. We can master our mind. We can master our whole being. Because this is how it works. So the happiness program is that. Now the thought process for initially is because since it's a basic one and it's called happiness, it removes all the toxicity from our body, our mind. Talk about the core of the happiness program, Sudarshan Kriya. What it does now, it removes all the stress, all that you have accumulated in your body, in your mind, in the soul level, all these things that you have been accumulating for such a long period of time. And what I have seen that, in
Mhm.
पहले तो 6 दिन का ठीक है अभी it has come down to 3 days because Gen Z wants it like faster, right? It's just that people have seen कि back pain khatam ho gaya. People stop. The anxiety that people used to have, it just would go away. Like within 2.5 days. And I have seen it because, see, I was also poor on the time when hum to aise bithake, we had done it. But when you're on the volunteer side, when you're an observer, when you're seeing it, so you see a sudden shift. And then people out of and see a sudden shift like in one course only, where people are like, karna to bhi yahi hai. I would not say that happened to me in like one course. Of course, I was like, when I was asked, I was like, yeah, it's good, nice. I was this, but I have seen people where like one course and they're like, that is what you're looking for. So yeah.
So, can you just a little bit? Can you just explain in brief ki what is the difference between the people who have taken the course and people who have not taken the course?
Okay.
What they will going to get it from it?
See, I think
Maybe course.
I would like to explain it in a very basic way to her. Like it's like going to a gym, right? Now, when you're going to a gym to make your body, right? When you do gymming and exercise,
Yeah.
suddenly people start feeling good about their bodies. And once you start shedding weight, you
Mm.
start feeling very good about yourself, right? The same is with this also, right? It's a mind thing. Okay? It eventually comes down to body also, but I would say it's your mind. You're giving some good thing to your, mind. Just like, how our parents, say ki chalo, acha khana kha do, right? The longer benefit.
Mhm.
It is pretty much the same thing. But the good thing about this Kriya is that, it gives you instant benefits also. Like, majority of the people, they would say, we felt so peaceful, we felt this and all that. And then, of course, it's a thing that I really feel that people do. Meditation is something, it makes you more productive. If you are, let's say, a student or, working, it makes you
Mhm.
more productive because you remain in the present. So all these
Mhm.
bahar ki cheezein is not blocking. It's like that.
I got just getting a thought on this as well. Is there a similar thing which is taught in the mandir or gurdwaras as well, which is taught in the art of living? How it is different then?
See, I don't know what is taught in Mandir and Gurudwara. Gurudwara is personally a place where I love to go. I love to go. The Kana Prasad and all that, I love it there. Okay? But religion and spirituality, both are
Hmm.
very different things. So,
Okay.
spirituality is something that where you go within and you connect with the source where you have come from, and ultimately you go there. Religion is something which is based on a certain set of belief system, set of places where we have come from. These core things is that we all are one, and
Mhm.
for art of living, I can say because they say it's a one world, one factory. and love moves the world. So it is based on that code. There is no difference. You are. It's not like you are different. I am different. It's like we are one. We one. Spirituality does that. It makes you compassionate. It happens very naturally. It makes you compassionate. Makes you more forgiving. It brings all these things in you.
So I guess the same similar way जो गुरु नानक का एक मैसेज था एक ही ओंकार everybody is one. Similar ways which they are telling up.
Yes. The ओम जो हम ओम है वो हर किसी में देखा बिकॉज ओम इज
Om,
ओम.
the whole universe.
Hmm.
I guess ये जो हम रिलीजन ये उसका one step एक आगे लेके उसका impact को am I right?
Correct. You have said it ekdam correct.
Okay.
Because
So
this fast paced world, we need something which can, do it like very faster or things like it. But you have correctly said that this Ekom Karu that we have,
mhm,
we come from that Om.
Om word. Okay. So when I was researching about the art of living, there were a lot of criticism is also there.
Yes.
Here it's a spiritual business, right? So how do you look into this? How do you thought is it a spiritual business or it is not?
Is it? What did you ask me last?
Spiritual business.
Okay, so that's a very good question, and I would love to answer this because I'll tell you, I have also had my experiences where, when I would tell people that even you should do this course, so I
Hmm.
was asked, why should we pay for it and stuff like that. So, see, I'll tell you two
Correct.
things about it. Too. I feel when if you do not attach any value to something, and in this one,
Hmm.
it's the money maybe, people don't take it seriously. Okay,
Okay.
people stop taking it seriously. And this fund, whatever is used from the courses and everywhere else, it is actually utilized for lots of projects which are run by Art of Living. And I'm not just saying about Art of Living, I'm sure others also have the same practice. Like, for Art of Living, I can definitely say that there's a Give a Smile project, where you actually take care of education of, yeah, girls. Then, there's our river rejuvenation projects, which is called Jaltara. So all these funds, of course, I will not say कि इस course से ये जो आया वो सारा इसी में चले गया. There are different projects which is needed, that is required. I would not call it a spiritual business. See, Kuvar, people come from all the parts of the country. Okay, not just country, over the world. You need a place to keep them. Like I have been for the Navratri celebrations, I have been to many places. There are not enough places. मतलब आप रखोगे कहाँ? मतलब how will people accommodate?
Hmm.
Where will they eat? How will they eat? Where will they sleep? Ashrams need to be constructed for these things. You need a proper setup, right? So for
Hmm.
that,
True.
I think there's no harm if you are earning honestly and using it for this purpose. I don't see any problem in that. And I always say one thing to those people because लगता है oh ये बाबा लोग बहुत कमाते हैं spiritual business and all that. So I tell them one thing, या तो तुम है ना सोसाइटी में इतनी गंदगी करना ही बंद कर दो, right? You stop giving anxiety to people. You stop, you be good. That we don't need anything of this
True. Hmm.
to create a better society where we are just normally living, happily living. So I don't see any problem in that. Like
So you mean to say कि just to when the followers are there or people who are coming to do spirituality रखने की एक जगह भी होनी चाहिए जिसकी वजह से वो आश्रम को या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को वो चीज अपने लिए
I see, at the end of the day, see, Google, if I tell you, if I enjoy meditation, okay, if I want to
हम्म
meditate somewhere, okay, now obviously I will need some place ना. अगर मैं ऐसे 10 लोगों को बाहर नहीं ना कि चलो आ जाओ रोड पे बैठ जाते हैं
नहीं बैठ सकते
जनरेशन मतलब यू टेल देम कि बिना एसी के बैठ बताओ नहीं बैठ पाएंगे. I see at the end of the day,
बिल्कुल भी
and I'll tell you one thing, there is this another course coming which even I haven't got a detailed consent for because there are so many people trying to register for it. Now, these people are also trying to, let us try to accommodate because what ashram used to be there few years back, okay, it was a smaller one. Now people suddenly start feeling the need that, oh, we need to go here, we need to go here. It's a two-way, it's two things. Now, the hospital, maybe you start meditating. Yeah, so it is said that either you take medications or you do meditation. For me,
हाँ
meditation works better. I don't want to be in hospital. So it's like
that's a good one. That's a good one. I am from the medical line or I am working for the medical. So yeah, I do see that kind of things. So I guess you have just given me the chance to ask the my मेरा जो हमेशा favorite questions रहता है which is corporates के ऊपर कि मेरा more focus इसमें corporates में रहता है.
Hmm.
So when you talk about the people should not make that kind of dirty world. So I guess one of the most dirty world is the corporate. They will not going to put you on the face, but they will do the backstabbing and all. Everything is real.
Yeah.
And how do this? Uh, I think इसमें दो question आएंगे. How do art of living is going to help the people who are into corporate, who are facing a lot of issues in their offices, and maybe they are depressed, but still they have responsibilities. They do work there, or maybe that can be helpful. And how art of living.
So, like you said, key corporate world, right? People backstab and all that. I think people are okay. So I'll tell you about this one course. Art of Living actually goes to corporate also. It is called YTP course, Youth Leadership Training Program, or corporate
Mhm.
are there which are run by those teachers who have those kind of expertise. So it is run there. But see, like you said, that corporate dirty politics happen, people backstab. That is the thing.
Mm.
Once you start meditating, so you understand what is competition. There's no harm in competition. Everybody wants to be first. But how you are
Agree.
there? I mean, see, if everybody wants to be first, but everybody cannot be first. You have to put in the right set of what do we call it? Efforts and with honesty and integrity. That is something that starts coming natural to people who are meditators. उसमें ऐसा नहीं बोला है कि you become very complacent or things like that. No, whatever you are doing, you do your best, but do not. That's what happens. It makes you a better human being. Like recently, when I
Mhm.
was assisting certain courses, one of the persons said a very beautiful line. He said that it is a technique to become a human.
Okay.
It's a your whole actually how humans should be like. You become like that. So all these things where people backstab, all these things, it will start moving.
वहां से away.
That is why we need it
That's good.
more. That is why we need it more. Nobody likes to, like, why would somebody want, my office job to, nobody wants that, right?
Nobody wants that, but obviously there's a people who are doing it, and obviously there's a type of peoples are there, people who help you up a lot, people who backstep a lot, people who do nuisance to their make the nuisance in the teams. So obviously people do need it, and it's I guess nowadays corporate world is getting more and more nuisance in the teams because things like art of living, a lot of HRs and teams have started, companies started giving to their own employees.
Yeah.
So maybe that can really help them in the future as well.
Yeah. I hope it really does, because at the end of the day, if your core is right, see,
Hmm.
we all need a good leader, right? Or maybe then we become one when we don't find them, right?
Hmm.
So it's just that somebody who is very calm in the head now will not give that kind of stress to other like that.
True. But I guess that is really difficult if somebody is calm. People who are creating a nuisance, they are already calm.
People,
बट वो दूसरों के लिए तो जो लोग ऑलरेडी न्यूसेंस क्रिएट उनके लिए वो तो अल्लाह शांत रह के वो करके निकल जाते हैं जिनका जो बेचारे होते हैं कि यार शांत रहना वो नहीं रह पाते उसमें.
which is why the Shant ones need it more. It's like I'll tell you something. So it's like pretty internal,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think I can share it. So many young generation, this young generation
Hmm.
who comes to Gurudev, of course, different set of questions are asked to him. So you know what? There are people who are really like Gurudev, his boss is not working,
Like,
not doing. So sometimes I'm like, oh God, bichare, because see, at the end of the day, you have to create a society for the new generation where they feel good about coming to office. Right? Many
hmm.
complaints come about bosses. वो boss ही complain या captain के पास then
अच्छा.
boss, takes care of it the way it needs to be taken care of. But I'm like, oh boy, bosses are being discussed here.
तरीके से अप्रोच मार रहे हैं हमारा काम.
Boss change, but
बहुत.
funny, it's hilarious.
Okay. So, is there any moment when you have been questioned about the teaching of art of living, and how did you answer them, or how did you overcome that?
Kumar, I have always stayed away from that. Like, nobody come and question me on these things because I was very clear that, this is something that, it has changed the quality of my life. It's not cover that I never used to get angry or things like that. But now I have become a sane person, a wiser that what needs to be angry upon, what doesn't need to be angry upon. So nobody could actually ever come and question me on these things because I did not give them the right to question. I was like, this is my decision and I'm going with it. If you want to join it, if you don't want to, that is also fine. But that is something because I have seen that, if even if 10 people are getting affected, better with it, why not? तो वो पता है क्या हुआ वो 10 कब 100 to thousands होते हैं ना I generally even I never thought that I was like okay, yeah, it just happens and it happens very naturally to us like that.
That's a clear thought you have already have in mind, and no one can obviously not can question on it. Okay. So now let's move to your professional setup now.
Yes.
So how and why, I would say, why did you choose to be the creative director? And what's your vision to a reality? I guess your work is to get the visions into reality. What thought you want to comes to your mind and questions, career path, and as well as why did you enjoy this position or this thing?
Okay, so it has my career has been like quite interesting one. Like what were the good things. So when people used to ask me earlier, what do you want to be and all that, it used to be like, yeah, ये क्या question? क्योंकि उस time पे like I'm a 90s kid, right? And people used to be like, yeah, doctor, एक ही set of वो होता था profession, right?
Mm.
Multi passionate one. मुझे ये भी करना है, but when I would tell people, they would be like, एक पे फोकस करो ना एंड ऑल दैट अभी इट हैज बिकम अ वेरी कॉमन टर्म कि मल्टीपल स्किल्स है मैं ये भी कर सकता हूँ वो भी
हाँ.
पहले के मेरे टाइम पे नहीं था एंड आई वाज आइड विद दैट कि ये भी फोकस नहीं है एंड ऑल दैट अब मैं so in my career now the good thing is I was never scared of taking trying out different. So when I started my career in this industry, like I had told you the story that my friend got a call that they are looking for an assistant post producer, assistant editor. I was like, ठीक है मैं ले लेती हूँ. But over there, when I saw, there were people who were out there shooting things, directing things. I was like, well, let me give it a try. Then I tried direction. Then I tried creatives also because I wanted to know the whole ecosystem of how things function.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept trying. I was never scared to take that jump. कि अच्छा अभी मैं पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन में अच्छी हो गई तो चलो ये 20 साल तक करते हैं. फिर अच्छा ये लर्न या now what next? Okay, let me try direction next. Direction हो गया, now let me try the creative part of it. So by this, by God's grace, so I became a whole well, it became a whole learning for me where I would understand the ecosystem. Even if you will see the film directors, all the great directors have been the greatest of editors because
Okay.
they would picture it, कि अच्छा क्या होता है कि let's say कि if you have, since you also edit things, right? So you would know कि अच्छा this chunk would work for me and all that. So it actually helped me in a wider way. It worked out for me. What was a block for me when people would ask me, what next? ये करना है, ये भी करना है,
Correct.
became a powerful asset for me now because now I'm like, oh, I can do this also. I can do this also. So now my my resume or my profile would be like, oh, I can do this also, this also, this also. So the multiple skills which people used to call it like non-focus now has taken a new term which is like multiple skills. So it has worked out for me. So now I'm like, see, now I'm enjoying it.
So I guess whenever you go up the ladder, I guess I believe you need the multiple skills. Otherwise, there's no point of getting on the ladder as well. So if you want to jump on the ladder, you need the multiple skills in your pocket. So when it's come to the multiple skills, so if I talk about if any project is there and you need to make it a production from a director point of view, what are the top 5 to 10 things which you need to take care or should be taken care?
So it varies from shows to shows or the project that I'm
सेटल होगी आगे वही टॉप 10 वाले कि मतलब 5 to 10 थिंग्स कि जब आप फ्रॉम विजन टू रियलिटी लेके जब क्या क्या चीजें आप ध्यान में रखते हो
see. What is like the first time that the show is coming, okay? Then what is it that we want to give the message out there, right? What kind of my show would look like? Like
ओके
so it has to be like that. And if it has been like so
हाँ टॉप 10 चीजें
कहीं ना कहीं हर शो पर अलग की जैसे अगर कोई शो है जिसके बहुत सारे सीजन सो हमारा विजन ऐसा होता है कि अच्छा हाउ कैन वी मेक इट डिफरेंट एंड वर्क देन व्हाट इट वाज अर्लियर We all sit together and we try to come up with the border wishes. So that is of course the thing. If it is the first time that the show is being introduced, like your own baby it is, right? So you have to start from the scratch. Like, okay, let me think about the fact, what is it that I want to send the message to my audience through this show. So I would just try to generalize it still. So A, definitely, what message I want to tell with this show. What will be the takeaway for the audience? Is my show going to be on an inspirational note? Is it going to be a mix of everything? Will it be like comedy? What exactly is that I'm going to put out there through my content? Okay. So A, definitely that has to be, the message has to be very clear. The content has to be very clear. So everything is taken care from that. Secondly, for me, who will be the right candidate? When I say candidate, it could be judges, it could be your anchor, it could be everyone. Who will be the perfect fit for this? Who can actually, support what I am visualizing. If I am doing some comedy movie or things like that, I would not want to have a very serious face because that character would not fit in for me. It has to do nothing with looks, it has to do nothing with that, but what art that person can bring. Then of course, who then third thing definitely the look and feel of how it's going to look aesthetically. That is something that we discuss on. Then our everything, right from what script is going to be, what dialogues are going to be, how, I mean, when we are out on the shoot and how the anchor should talk. We sometimes give a certain character also to anchor. How is it that, my people are going to say what they are going to say? Sometimes it's too scripted, sometimes it's a mix of both. So you have to draw those lines
Correct.
there. So these everything is taken care of, even right from what they are going to wear, what color maybe if has to suit my aesthetics of the house set is going to look like, right? If we are using a certain blue graphics feature, that day, my character or my people cannot be wearing blue because it will get merged. So even minute things are like taken care of like that. Then, if like I have like five set of people, and if I have a shot where, I want to show too much of angle. Okay, so I have to be with my DOP, and then, be in sync with how is he planning to like light the whole thing because for me, that would work. You show too much of anger and stuff. He can maybe DOP could come up with a better things. You get into all these detailing also. Sometimes certain shows demands your sketches also. Every frame of it. Certain ads demand that.
Mhm. So these kind of creativity which you're talking about do get hampered because of TRP as well. Because ये एक TRP एक बहुत तगड़ा I guess मेरे को
TRP. Okay, yes. I would say not just because of so what happens na TRP. अच्छा, it depends on many things. Like पहले के time पे क्या होता था कि there were no phones much. Everybody used to be glued on television at a certain point of time. So उस टाइम की टीआरपी बहुत हाई थी. अब वो टीआरपी कहीं नहीं आती इस level. I'll be very honest with you.
अच्छा
Now people can watch it on OTT platforms. सारे channels के OTT होते हैं वो free of cost होते हैं. So I can be like
हाँ
watch it anytime I want to. But yes, TRP definitely affects the quality of our work because what happens now? If a certain show is not watched by viewers, okay, at the end of the day,
correct.
money is involved here also. So you don't get that much sponsors, right? So when there are not too many sponsors to support your show, then you will get lesser budget. When you get lesser budget, then quality will get hampered. Then maybe when you would have a 10 creator.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, that's a great one. So, see, the compromise is also there, but eventually do work around it.
वो आपको करना ही पड़ेगा because that is something that
Mm-hmm.
has to be done. मतलब जैसे न्यूज़पेपर बंद कभी नहीं होगा, right? Like there
नहीं होगा.
people, I still love newspaper. I still love the feel of that newspaper over like apps and all. So we will always be there. TV will always be there. But yeah, something has to be there. On my definitely. So I have had my days where I have literally cried on sets. There have been days where, I was like, I would not feel like waking up in the morning and going to work. There have been days like that because, what used to happen, I was
I guess आपको start करना होगा.
it's not that I did not have my hard days. Of course, I had. There have been days when I literally cried on sets, and there have been days when I did not even feel like waking up in the morning and work on a certain show. Like हुआ है, हुआ definitely it has happened with me. I did cry about it also. Because there have been days when I have cried.
अच्छा
have. There have been days when I have cried on sets. But हमेशा क्या होता था ना कि कैसे होता है कि 2 के 5 मिनट बाहर जाके वापस आ जाओ, like that.
Mm-hmm.
There have been days, where like in corporate you find very dirty things, politics happening there. Of course, यहाँ पर भी, in this field, people are, you know, there who are very, they in the fit of being greedy, they just forget their own ethics, right? So of course, there were days when I used to just, again, cry. But then I was someone who would never quit. Until unless
Mm-hmm.
to a point, I never would quit. I was like always going about it, which is also why, I'm mixing spirituality here, which gave me too much of strength to, be very clear. Because my show is my like big time focus. And that is why I tell people
Mm-hmm.
everybody should do it. In fact, our field definitely should do it. Because what happens, our work culture is such poor where, it has become there. People say, we are creatives, so we should work for 18 hours because हमारी creativity is type certain. No, it's not like that. Once you have a calmer state of mind, silence breeds creativity. I have seen people make
Mm-hmm.
you take best of examples, yeah. I mean, the people who you take a Steve Jobs for that matter. You go into silence, your creativity starts working better. You become more productive, and then लाइक मेरा खुद का भी ना मतलब आई नो फॉर अ फैक्ट कि 4 घंटे में हो जाएगा काम अगर आप टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो ना being in a circle gossiping and stuff like that then please don't make your team work for 18 hours because you're not doing anything to be honest you are just wasting that time and in that process the next generation will have health issues the next generation will have many more complaints to do there ki our boss is like that so please let's just reduce it we don't want it. So yeah, I have been on that side before, and I will not lie. And those were very difficult times, and I would not want anybody to
Mm-hmm.
go through that for sure.
Okay. So, and media industry is being always into question when it's come to nepotism.
Mm.
So, do you really think it is nepotism is actually there, or media is a game of connections till now?
ये कुछ चीज को नेपोटिज्म बोलते हैं जैसे लगता है कि सी दे कम फ्रॉम
Mm.
सर्टेन सेक्शन ऑफ फैमिली के पेरेंट्स डायरेक्टर थे या उनके पेरेंट्स सेम फील्ड में थे
Correct. Mm-hmm.
something which is not talented, right? There are lots of
Mm-hmm.
examples in our industry only where they come from a certain section of film backgrounds, but they have not been able to achieve in that sense, they like that. But there have been certain people who do not belong to those families. They have been doing pretty well. So I think at the end of the day, it all
Okay.
comes down to talent. And I think in this regard, all these OTT platforms which are coming up right now, यार पहले के जमाने में शायद ऐसा बहुत वो होता होगा कि कनेक्शन लगा दे ये कर दे वो कर दे the good thing is with all these platforms opening up there is more opportunity and I can directly contact
True.
people. So now see if you do not
Correct.
have talent you cannot survive at least for long and for me the good thing is for this work in the manner कि हमारी फील्ड में कैसा होता है you work on a show then if you have one good in the next show that person itself will say, okay, this show I'm coming up with, or this project I'm coming up with, or maybe it just happens naturally. But at the end of the day, everybody needs to have the quality of work.
Connection.
One ways.
So you mean that media is a industry, or maybe I'm not about media. Every industry need the connections. So nepotism not actually the nepotism. It's a more likely a connections thing which anybody can have it.
Yeah,
True.
it's very easy. Kubar, I tell people when I talk to people who are not from this industry also, I tell them that, if you, because they think of our industry as a very, oh my God, and all it like that. I think it's a very, very simple field industry, to be honest. It's just that हमारी कंट्री में 2 3 चीजों को शुरुआत से बड़ा बनाया हुआ है. Either you be a cricketer, that to a male cricket वाला, politics में,
Mm.
or this. It's just a job which we are passionate about. And yes, as a byproduct of that, people must and things like that. But I always tell people, do not be scared of, coming to this field. If you really want to do it now, I'm telling you it's easy. It's not difficult. Of course, you should be very centered when you come. Do not lose yourself in the process. There will be days कि 4 shows work करेंगे 4 नहीं करेंगे पर ऐसा मत सोचो कि नहीं करना it's I'm telling you it's not a big deal at all you want to be an actor you can be an actor you want to be a director become one it's really, really simple. It's just that people have made a big thing about it. It's not.
So now, when it's come to the media part, there's a new bill is coming up, the broadcaster bill. So, which is going to be a broadcaster for YouTube and OTT platform, just like the films got the A certificate from now onwards. YouTube and OTT will also get it. So, how do you think? Is it fair right now, or it should be free, just like right now it is?
See, honestly, I cannot give too much opinion on it, but from what I have gathered from this bill and from what little understanding I have of this work, I think certain code of conduct, certain censorship is needed in every aspect. The
Mhm.
reason being, for like I said, this field comes as a responsible thing also, right? You cannot just put anything out there because you should remember that this will have many people down the line, what piece of information we are giving that person. So I think it's in a way fair that there should be certain censorship. I will not say कि पूरा ही वो कर दो कि democracy चली जाए. एक थोड़ा
Mhm.
चाहिए होता है code of conduct और हर field में चाहिए. But
Okay.
in a balanced way, it is good.
So because people have the comments that this is a bill where maybe the small creators on YouTube and on the small actors which are coming up on the OTT platforms may get hampered due to this because government have the options to ban just like they're doing it with the movies. Now they can ban the movies which are on OTT or maybe the YouTubers who are running their own independent media houses. So maybe they can also get banned due to this.
When, if at all, it comes down to this, okay, I'm sure there will be a certain level of body which will be made again to balance it
Mhm.
out, and then that should also be done. You cannot just keep on, saying, "Oh, ban because it is not going with my ideology, ban this is not going by my ideology." No, there has to be a balance.
Correct.
So, and right now, we all are at the assumption part because, of course, we come from that past where actually unnecessarily ban has been
Hmm.
put on things.
Ban helps.
Yeah. So we of course are coming from those experiences.
Correct. Correct. Audit. So now coming on the last part of our podcast. So I'm taking both the industries. Your work with the journalism, your work with the as a media, right? So how do you think being a part of our journalism and from today's media point of view, do you think that traditional media lost the credibility compared to the independent digital creations?
I would say, there's still an
Mhm.
audience, who likes traditional media. There are still people out there. I again do not have numbers for it. But if that would have been the case, Cole, I feel that it would have just shut down. Like you were
Okay.
seeing newspapers also. There are people, who actually like watching that simple saga content. And I would like to take
Hmm.
TVF, for this because ये मेरी family है. It's a very simple. अच्छा सारा. So there are people who actually enjoy this Sida content, like a simple form of storytelling. Because see, we as a country, India as a country, yes, we are progressing and all it, but still, the best thing about our country is that our roots are very much intake. We still are family people. We still are not like, कि मेरा भाई अगर परेशान है तो जाओ, This happens in a very foreign culture. So why God's grace, हमारी country उस level पे तो नहीं. So, I would like to credit TVF for this definitely for the kind of content they are creating. You must have seen ये मेरी family है or So it's like a very basic, simple form of storytelling where you can just sit with family, watch it. People still enjoy. That is why their shows are working a lot.
Hmm.
So I think that media will never lose its essence. Like हमें कोविड में लगा था कि लोग थिएटर्स नहीं जाएंगे. खत्म हो गया इसका वो. हाँ, बिल्कुल popcorn. So it will never go away. It will never go away. And I always say one thing, कि
Mhm.
if I even ask you, you would remember the music which was created by, the likes of Lata ji, Asha ji, or, R.D. Burman. We all sing it till now. Even our new
Yes.
generation also, from Gen Z होते हैं, के साथ भी बैठ के, I have jammed on, these songs. Do you not remember the current song which are trending on Reels? Life Shell होगी that.
So I guess because of the fast moving. हाँ, लाइफ स्पैन उसका काफी अभी हम भी देखते थे गाने 2-3 दिन बाद आई गेस कल परसों किसी का सर्वे देख रहा था विच वर फ्रॉम बॉलीवुड 6 महीने में 300 गाने आए विच मीन्स 1-1.5 दिन में एक नया गाना और कौन कितने सुन लेगा, कितना कर लेगा, कितना फीड कर।
नहीं कर पाओगे. In fact, when you go to these OTT platforms also, there is so many thumbnails of this.
हम्म.
बंदा कुछ जाता है यार देखूं क्या, एंड जब आपने उसका ट्रेलर भी देखा यू नो, एंड आई एम समवन हु कैन नॉट वॉच समथिंग अंटिल अनलेस it starts interesting me like initial few.
करेक्ट.
So I do not like majority of the content. I'm like, of what?
वन थिंग व्हेन यू यूज, आपने जैसे बात की, हमने नेटफ्लिक्स की, हमने, अब आप क्या ऐसा कभी होता है कि जब आप किसी की फोटो देख, you're watching a movie and you find the mistakes from a director point of view?
I was just discussing this with a friend the other day. Ki now I have come to a point where I have started dissecting these things. So I was telling this to a friend. The other day I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, and I was telling her the same thing. I have come down to a point when I start dissecting these things. I mean, I enjoy my work as a work where I'm directing, where I'm writing and stuff. But when I'm watching some content now, so my whole thing is this shot, this thing, why this thing. So you start dissecting things, and somewhere down the line, what has happened with me? So I was telling this to a friend of mine the other day. I have come down to the level where now I start dissecting things. Watching some piece of content, I'm like, oh, why it is, why the shot has been taken, it could have been taken like that. So I've come down to this, and in that process, what happens, you do not even enjoy the, feel of being an audience. So I have become that, where I'm just totally, seeing what. And now what has happened with me for what? Where down the line, I know, what actor is going to say next.
Mhm.
Scenes are so predictable, no? Like, oh, and then you're like, oh, I predicted it right. So it happens. I just not me, that think it happens with majority of us. Like that.
Even I was thinking कि ये तो क्योंकि being in a media or not media, मतलब marketing things. So I always think यार इसको कैसे और better कर सकता था. Yeah, ये इसने जगह, even I have sent a lot of brands, I've sent the pings. Yet I guess you guys are doing a wrong targeting. तो कहते क्यों? मैंने कहा because I am sitting in Delhi and your hospital's in Bangalore. कहते oh sorry, wrong targeting. मैंने कहा हाँ, मैं कहा you are not going to face it, but obviously it's a my thing. I know ads have been targeted and you don't have to waste your money. So like they were like कि अच्छा ऐसा भी होता है. मैंने कहा हाँ, अगर खुद I message them. I'm assuming that you are not hiring any professional. कहते हैं हाँ, we are doing our own thing. मैंने कहा हाँ. So
Right.
so that's how you know. Last, मैंने बहुत बारी उनको मैं I have put it on, even I remember I have pinged someone from BMW company. वो अपनी ad run कर रहे हैं और स्टेटस में लिखा हुआ है टाइल्स में इट्स अ बैंगलोर यूनिट लिखा हुआ है उसने. मैंने कहा भाई I put it bro, you are running in Delhi. कमेंट्स पे लिख के दिया था. People were like ये मार्केटियर आ गया.
But that happens. That, and I think कुछ लोग तो उसको ऐसा फीडबैक लेते हैं. They work on it. And कुछ लोग नहीं लेते. But then
और
again,
उनको लगता है हमारा क्रिटिसिज्म है. ठीक, my point was I have given it, whether you take it or not, that's your call.
that should be the perspective.
So now let's last thing. So where do you think your career path would go to? Malab, at which level you do see after down the line 5 years or 10 years
Now
in
that
the career?
in the career, see, I can only say, Kuva, that I want to continue telling stories. I am definitely sure that I want to be a part of this whole ecosystem. I want to be a director. I want to be a writer. I would not say that I want to tell good stories because good and bad is a very perspective thing. But I would
Correct.
love to keep telling stories. And majorly my focus, is definitely that, if I have been given this role by, that because see, whatever I'm making, whatever I am creating, is something that a large mass of audience will be seeing, right?
Hmm.
So you have a good say over what those 100 can feel. Through one story, then you can inspire 100 people, or you can break 100. I don't want to be on the breaking point for sure. Like my stories should definitely, either it should make myself feel, yeah, you know what? So what? I can also do it. So what? Let me do it. It should that because you have a great, great medium to, like I would not say influence. Influence is like you're telling someone to, do something, but I would say inspire me. So I would love to keep doing that. Like, and I love being on the set. I love being on the set. So I would love to do it. And where I would be in 5 years, I don't think that much. I always say that I live one day at a time. I don't know where it will take me. I really don't.
Maybe down the line 5 years we'll see someday कोई movie आ रही है जिसमें story teller or maybe the director is directed by Poonam Kalra.
Oh,
That can also be happen.
that day, Kuva, you should be the first one to be there, because you are saying it.
Only if you
Yeah.
hit me up.
Of course I will. Of course I will. Now it's a scene.
Good, that's a good one. I guess I just saw that it is one already 1 hour cross and पता लगा नहीं इस बार का पॉडकास्ट का 1 घंटे से ऊपर हो चुका.
Please,
It was lovely talking to you, Poonam.
same here.
A really good insight on different point of views, and maybe I will connect you with again for the another round if we got good number of views and questions more on the career path, because my core is more on the career or corporate thing. But obviously
Correct.
let's see how the questions do come, and definitely push down the questions or bundle of questions towards you. Maybe that can really help you out.
But I would also like you to have given your closing speech. Let me also tell you, why it was
Yeah.
a pleasure to be here. Definitely, you definitely have a very nice vibe with the smiling evergreen one. Whatever questions you threw at me were also very, straight, clear, very clarity of thoughts. So it was a pleasure to be honest. Thank you for having me here. And definitely it was a
Okay.
pleasure, to be a part of this. More than 1 hour, yeah.
Definitely we'll meet someday if you come to Delhi or maybe I come to Mumbai. Definitely meet you over there.
Definitely. We have to do it now, proper in a setup. Yeah?
Studio part.
Studio.
Definitely.
Definitely. It was a pleasure. You lovely questions, lovely vibe, lovely. It did not feel like we are on Zoom or we are just doing it, like through some technology. Yeah.
So that's a AI is changing up now. Definitely. Thank you for being part. We'll connect again.
Okay.
And thank you everyone for joining us for till now. And if you need any information about these careers, so I will drop Poonam's Instagram in the caption. You can connect with her, or maybe you can drop your questions in the question box. I will give all the bundle to the Poonam, and we'll try to cover them in the next series, or maybe through some other means we will try to give you answers, or Poonam will try to give her from her own Instagram as well. So stay tuned and thank you for joining and stay connected. More new podcasts are coming. Some goods are coming up. So maybe that will incite you for the new industries as well. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.